With Morten Hackett, and can I say välkommen till Viz.
Tusen tack, det var väldigt hyggligt att du vill ha mig här.
So it gets awkward because I've just been translating on
But it was very good.
Was that good? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Jag en stor fan.
Jag, not jag, but jag.
Jag en stor. Jag en stor fan.
Are you really?
I am a big fan.
Okay.
So born in Kongsberg. Hilly and green, I just imagine everywhere in Norway is kind of hilly and lush and green.
Kongsberg
and
is hilly
nice.
and green. It is. It's in the mountains. Silver mine, in fact, from about 1600, which turned a lot of silver out.
Your father was a chief physician. Your mum was a home economics teacher. So where did this love of music spring from?
We human beings can go in many directions.
Yeah.
My dad is very musical. He chose actually between a career as a classical pianist or becoming a doctor.
So influences Jimi Hendrix, Uriah Heep, who I wasn't that familiar with. They're quite hard.
Well, they were very melodic. I lived in a very sort of inside my own cocoon, really, because I didn't know. When I first heard Uriah Heep, it was the first thing I ever heard of any kind of modern music, because my interests were orchids and butterflies and insects and things. So that was my world. And then a cousin of mine came back from a visit. He'd been on a trip to London, and he came back with a Uriah Heep album. It blew my head off. And then I started to hear other things as well, like Deep Purple. And this was back in the 70s. When
I was reading through all the bits of information, it nearly didn't happen. Was it Mags who approached you and tried to woo you to join his band? Because you were in Soldier Blue at the time, weren't you? You were already in a band.
I was in a blues band. It was blues, but also soul music. We were just a cover band, so it was just a practice thing. It was,
and you weren't keen to leave it to join and make this new band?
That was because I was basically true to my word. I said yes to joining them for a certain few things.
So you got a few little gigs out of the way, and
they misread that. They actually took it for me not being interested and took off to England on their own.
So this is Mags and Pal.
Yeah, very weak characters.
Yeah. They were like, we can't get Morten to be our singer, so we're just going to go to England and seek our fortune.
Yeah, I think they spent about 6 months or so. And according to Mags, they hadn't forgotten about their ideas with me or whatever. And Mags talked Paul into going back home to ask me one more time. So you said yes, Aha are born. Luckily they weren't called Ahem,
which was a consideration, which sounds slightly disapproving. It's a bit Nathan, like, not very good behaviour.
It wasn't considered. It was just Paul was writing a song, and he was just looking at different expressions like that.
Okay.
And when I saw that he'd written aha, ahem, and other things.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, when I saw that there, I said that why can't that be a name for the band? We were looking for a name that wasn't English, but also not Norwegian. It needed to have some sort of international thing about it. It doesn't work very well for the French. It doesn't.
Some dinner like that.
Everything stops when they pronounce it.
So we'll fast forward a year. Aha have got a manager, Terry Slater. He was British, wasn't he?
He is very British.
Yeah. You got a contract with Warner Brothers.
We did. For us, it was Terry that kind of turned everything around.
Tell us about making Hunting High and Low. That was the first album.
It takes for someone like Paul, for instance, to fall in love, and the best thing is then to do that with a girl that lives on the other side of the world, so there is distance.
Did you engineer this? Like some evil master plan?
Maybe. I haven't thought of it like that, but I was actually present when he and Lauren met the first time, and I had done his makeup.
Round.
I just remember it now.
This is so sweet.
Paul is not the most flamboyant of types. He's kind of shy as a character, and he keeps to himself. I hauled him out of the room and did him up willingly.
What are we talking? Mascara, false eyelashes, lip gloss?
I can't remember the lip gloss, whether it was or not.
And he
but also clothes, everything.
Oh, really? You were the one in the band who just had an eye for sort of style.
He looked like a Bambi, and he freaked Lauren out. He was kind of close to Boy George level.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Wow. He wrote lots of songs about this lady that he'd clapped eyes on and fell in love. And the track Take On Me as a single came out in 1984. I love that it was the first Norwegian band to chart in the States. Is that right? It got to number 91 initially, and then with the video being just so, I mean, we played it on our visualised show a couple of weeks ago. It's just such a great video, and it's still really iconic. Do you look back at that fondly, and just
the making of the video belongs
had.
to a period before everything happened for us, so it's a very different period than after.
Because do you think the video was responsible for pushing the single up the chart?
Quite bluntly. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The song would not have survived the way it has and become a hit on the level that it has and stayed for as long as it has if it hadn't been also, the song has to be there. The video certainly played a very important part, and also it's difficult to pry the two apart in a way. The public has always kind of seen them together. But the song has been played to death for almost 30 years. So when the people behind the video, or rather Warner Brothers in the States, when they heard the song, and they started orchestrating what it would take to get the video, and they got Steve Barron in, who directed it, with Mike Patterson, who had done this brilliant cartoon drawing stuff. And all of this came together. It was Steve Barron's baby, really, as an artwork. It's a number of factors, really.
Yeah. Tell us about how you worked as a band. Like, did each of you fulfill a role? Was one of you, like, more nurturing? Was one of you more confident and would give the other guys confidence? Was one of you sort of, needed more support? Or was one the joker? Or was
support?
Or was one the party guy? I just know from knowing bands, there's always one who's up first.
We're three quite hard characters.
Yes.
Makes me laugh when you say support, because it's a hard or tough working environment.
We're going to play a big UK number one of yours. We're going to play The Sun Always Shines on TV, which is a gorgeous song. So Morten's here now chatting, if you've just joined us. We're going to play The Sun Always Shines on TV. The Sun Always Shines on TV from my heart. Morten is here now, and I am a big fan of your band, so it is awesome to meet you. Can I just ask where the cheekbones came from?
Where they came from?
Yes.
How can I answer that?
You could, I don't know. Was your dad a very facially blessed?
My dad?
Yeah.
I think both of them are, in fact.
Now then, The Living Daylights. Was that fun to get asked to do some music for a Bond film? Did you do Forward Roly-Polies and give it a bit of this? Was it exciting? Were you fans of 007?
Well, it happened in a very busy period for us. We were running around the world at a high pace. We flew in from I can't remember where. So all those things really happened, squeezed in little slots between other things.
Yes, lots of flights, hotel, gig or filming, promo, back on the plane.
Yeah, for a very long time, The Bond thing was a great thing to get. It was really a great thing to do, but it ended up in a funny way, because we had booked and sold out a tour in Japan when the release date for the Bond, the premiere in London, was. So it crashed, and we told the Bond people that we couldn't make it to the premiere, but they didn't take it seriously. They didn't think we were serious, and we didn't show up, and that didn't go down very well.
No. And you were playing in Japan. Did you have lots of fans in Japan? I always hear that Japanese fans are just insane and awesome.
Yeah, very positively insane, yes.
Yeah. In the best possible way. Other fans around the world, any particular stick out, or any places where when you saw a schedule you thought, we're going?
They all have their things, People are people, so obviously we are essentially, in many ways, like one of the lines of the album now is, we have so many faces, but we only have one heart, as in man. I have met so many people of different types,
So the new album Brother came out last week, 14th of April. The single is out in May, 12th of May. The single's Do You Remember Me? And how is it being solo? Because the band split up officially 2011.
Just before 11.
Okay.
4th of December.
It wasn't Christmas, was it? I don't want to think you sitting round carving the turkey going, I've had enough of you.
But I do have family. No, we had our last gig on the 4th of December in Oslo in 2010.
And how was it? Were there tears?
We had that last gig around the world for a year.
Okay, so every night you couldn't squeeze out some racking sobs.
No, that's not part of our show, really.
And being solo, is it a good feeling? You enjoying it?
I love that. But again, it's the same, very much the same. You have the same challenges.
Well, we look forward to the single, and best of luck with the album. And we're going to end the interview, as is traditional on Sounds of the 80s, with our big interview with your favourite 80s track, which is a tricky question.
What a tricky question, and there isn't one answer to that. But if you ask me, and you are a member of the media, and you want one answer, so...
Am I a member of the media? Yeah, they're all nodding through that, aren't we?
Yeah. One song that really got to me back then that I loved was Soft Cell. Say Hello, Wave Goodbye.
What is it about that track?
I love the way he sings it, for one. I think the song itself is really great song, actually. Yeah. Also, for me, it kind of symbolized a lot of what was going on. There were so many different things going on. People were trying all kinds of things in many different directions. And there was a buzz and an excitement. And it was in that environment that Aha came into being.
We will play it now then at Soft Cell. Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, Morten.